The War on Salad. Is it overrated? Find out if you should stop eating salad today. We break it all down in our Food Truth series. Plus, famed model and restaurateur BeBe Smith's battle with Alzheimer's.
How's it changed in the last year? How's it more difficult?
And the frightening night she went missing.
She was gone somewhere between 14 and 17 hours.
It was very scary.
Coming up next.
We'll save lives today.
You guys ready to get healthy?
Here's what I'm excited about in today's show. First off, we have the war on salad. An article was published calling salad overrated, claiming lettuce has little nutritional value and is simply a vehicle for fattening dressing. You know, and it's brewed up into a big food fight. So if you're eating a ton of lettuce and salad and you can't lose a pound, but you think you're doing the healthy thing when you choose it, you won't want to miss today's show. Also, from boosting your metabolism to satisfying your cravings, we've got the 20 soups for weight loss. And finally, Chef BeBe Smith and her family join us to share what it's like to live with Alzheimer's. And we've got the warning signs that you should be looking for. But first, let's just start with that big food fight about salad. Is there merit to saying salad is overrated? Now, to find out, I sent core team expert and author of the Dorito Effect, Mark Schatzker, to investigate. Remember, the last time he was here, he revealed your frozen Thanksgiving turkey is as good as fresh. And now he's going inside the lettuce industry to reveal what you need to know about your greens.
Have you heard what people are saying about salad?
It's overrated. It's too expensive. It's nothing more than a vehicle for fattening dressing. And worst of all, lettuce, the very foundation on which salad is built, is nutritionally empty.
Is it true? Is salad actually overrated?
Now, it is true that back in the 70s and 80s, salad wasn't so healthy. It was mainly a side dish of iceberg lettuce. But in the 90s, new and exotic leafy greens began appearing. Romaine, arugula, kale, chard. High in calcium and vitamins A, C, and K. Salad evolved from a basic side dish to the main event.
What do you want?
I don't know. A big salad?
Is that what I asked for? The big salad? What's in the big salad?
Big lettuce, big carrots.
And today, not only are people eating healthier lettuce, they're growing healthier lettuce.
We use the non-GMO approaches to enhance it nutritionally.
Ilya Raskin is a plant biologist at Rutgers University who recently developed a new super lettuce.
The lettuces you're looking at now, which were bred in our laboratory, have 2 to 3 times as many antioxidants than, for example, blueberries will have. And those are very good for the cells, and they do prevent aging in the body.
Have you done any tests on animals, for example, to see if it's having a beneficial effect?
Yes, if animals just given the powder prepared from those lettuces, they will not gain weight as fast as they normally would. Even if they're given the bad to the Western high-fat diet, their blood sugar will be more normal, and they'll be just healthy animals.
Dr. Raskin's lab even created an artificial GI tract that shows that the antioxidants in his lettuce can be absorbed by the human body.
Big question, how does it taste?
I think it tastes great.
Can I taste it?
Absolutely.
Oh, it tastes good. It tastes like lettuce, but just a little bit more like lettuce.
My salad education didn't end there. To address some of the salad haters' other arguments, I paid a visit to New Jersey lettuce grower Ken Vandervreed.
So, Ken, some of the salad critics out there are saying that salad is not environmentally friendly, that growing lettuce uses too much water. Is that true?
Well, in the field, they use a lot of water. Here, in a controlled environment, we use about 1/20th of the water compared to what they do in the field. Now that is sustainable.
Another argument you hear about lettuce is that it's too expensive. What do you say to that?
I disagree. A head of butterhead lettuce sells for around $2 and change. You throw some chicken on that, some vegetables, you have a meal for 1 or 2 people for under $10.
So today I'm officially calling for an end to the war on salad. Salad is one of the few good news stories in American food. We've been making it more delicious, and now we're making it more nutritious. So haters gonna hate, but I'm sticking with salad, and so should you.
I stand with Mark when it comes to lettuce, absolutely on the same page. Now, aside from that super lettuce you just showed us, when it comes to the average person walking into the average supermarket, what's the bottom line on whether lettuce is worth it?
It comes down to nutrient density. That is the nutrients per calorie. So if you look at things like cheeseburgers and potato chips, lots of calories, not many nutrients. When you look at lettuce on a per calorie basis, it is extraordinarily nutrient dense. So the story is eat more lettuce. You're not getting a lot of calories, you are getting what your body needs.
I wanted to put some numbers on this, I was curious. So I'll give you an example, everybody. To get 200 calories worth of romaine lettuce, you need 25 cups. All of that. It's gonna be hard for you to get 25 cups. That's more nutrients than you'd ever want, by the way, and doesn't give you that many calories. Take another healthy food, one that I like a lot, an apple. 200 calories is roughly 2 apples. 2. So I'm not saying apples are bad, they're great, but it's it's unbelievable. You get all that salad in you for the same number of calories and all the nutrients that come along with it. So salad's easy to fill you up. It takes a long time to get through it. In fact, you can watch a whole episode of Scandal in time it takes to eat that much salad, and you still won't have chumped down too much food. So use it as a vehicle for the good things instead of just a vehicle for fattening dressing, which is unfortunately what a lot of folks do with it. That's the trade-off. And we were saying, and I have said many times, that a lot of times women think salad's good for them because they're eating it all day long. But it's actually the major way they get calories because of the fattening dressing. We would have changed that. So you've got 3 salad boosters instead.
Yeah.
Blow our minds. Come on back here.
So the key is to make your salad delicious the honest, nutritious way. So one thing I love are using fresh herbs. We all know what they are. They're easy to get. 3 of my favorites are cilantro, dill, and parsley. You can combine them. You can use them on their own, just chop them up. They add a ton of flavor, and they're good for you.
You also got some things that give it a little bit more sweetness and savoriness.
Exactly. You can give it savory notes and sweet notes. I love pear, for example. You make sure the skin's on because you get a little bit of that bitterness. You get the sweet pear flesh. Sunflower seeds are nice and salty, so as you're chewing, you get this nice salty point, you get this nice sweet point. It's easy, and it's great.
Now, folks don't know that besides being a top-notch journalist, you're also a gourmand. So you're big on olive oil. There's a way that you can teach us both to pick the right olive oil, but also to make it even bigger in flavor, to change the flavor profile. So walk us through that.
Okay, so the first thing you want to do is taste your olive oil. Let's have a taste. What we're looking for here is a kind of a scratchiness in the back of your throat. That's a compound called oleocanthal, which is an anti-inflammatory. It's similar to aspirin, and it can really make your throat light up. And if you get that feeling, you know this is a good olive oil.
I definitely got that feeling. I'll save you the trip. And it keeps going, by the way. It doesn't stop.
It keeps going. So this is good for you. Add to that a squeeze of lemon, citrus, really good for you, really delicious. And also a pinch of salt. So many of us are afraid of salt, but the truth is the foods that are really high in salt are processed foods. A little pinch in your kitchen is fine. It really gives a boost to that salad, so don't be afraid of using a little bit of salt.
But you add these right to the olive oil, or you just make it part of your dressing?
I just make it a part of the dressing. I put it all in, I toss it, and it's great.
But it brings out the flavor of the olive oil as well?
Absolutely. It lifts everything.
You know what? I'm going to give this a taste, because we dressed this.
And you're trying some of that Rutgers lettuce right now.
This is it?
This is the red stuff.
You know, it actually tastes more like lettuce than lettuce.
Exactly.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's true. This is dressed to impress even for the haters out there. This is really cool. Yeah. My mouth's full, but I'll do the outro anyway. I love these kinds of tips. I'm very happy that salad was vindicated. There's no longer part of a food war, hopefully after today. Thanks again for your wonderful work.
Thank you.
Mark Schatzker, we'll be right back.
Next, can a cup of Joe be part of your day off diet?
Don't take away our coffee.
You'll be happy to know the answer is yes. But are you drinking it the right way? The best way to have your coffee and lose the weight too. Next.
My son was shot in the head. My son suffers every day.
Life coach Ayanna Van Zandt helps you overcome your fears.
Right now you're focusing on the fear.
All New Oz. That's coming up tomorrow.
This month, we kicked off the day off diet, and it's not too late to get started if you haven't joined us already. Many of you have been emailing and posting about how happy you are that coffee is part of the diet. but are you drinking your coffee the right way to help in your weight loss journey? Nutritionist Ashley Kopp is here with the answer. Where does the nutrition community come down on coffee? Is it thought of as being a good thing or a bad thing for diets?
We're like this, don't take away our coffee. Like, that's what the nutrition community is. We're like, we got a lot of work to do, we need our coffee. No, I mean, I think the biggest issue is that when we do research on coffee, we do research on this. We don't do research on, a triple venti creamy, like blah, blah, blah. So I think what we really have to get to is, how is somebody interpreting coffee? So when somebody says, I have my coffee in the morning, I'm like, all right, let's talk about that. What are you actually having? And we start in.
So let's quiz the audience here.
Yeah.
Black coffee, the kind I have right here. How many calories does it have? Thoughts? 60, 80, 20. Oh, this is why we have the smartest audience in television.
Yeah.
No, I heard a lot of people say 1 and 0, which is that right?
1 is correct.
That's
yes.
right.
For this size. Yes.
1 calorie. If you double it, 2 calories. You
2
still get away with
calories.
murder.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But of course, as you mentioned, we're not drinking this.
Right.
And that's part of the tip today. I know you can't drink your coffee black, a lot of you, and you want to add stuff to it. Yeah, the sugar, the creamers, all that stuff. So Ashley created a guide that breaks down which nut milk is best for all your favorite sweet coffee drinks. They don't all work equally well,
right.
So you won't feel deprived. And I'm going to remind you why nut milks can be a healthy alternative. Cow milks sometimes are issues for if you have digestive problems. Some people have allergies to them. But I love nut milks because they can be low in calories. They have a variety of minerals and vitamins that are important for us as well.
Great.
So I've got 3 of our guests here. They've all been on the diet. Suzanne, Pamela, and Michelle each are holding their morning cup of coffee. They refuse to put them down.
Good.
The first nut milk we're going to talk about is fantastic if you're a latte or a cappuccino drinker, and it is cashew milk. So if you don't mind, Suzanne, go ahead and give it a taste.
Okay, this is the one here. Okay.
If you don't want to, I'm happy to.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Okay, great. Yeah.
And then Ashley, tell us why you prefer cashew milk in this setting.
It's nice and creamy, and I don't feel like I'm missing the heavy cream that I do like in my coffee that I had to stop with the diet. This is delicious.
Great.
This is really good.
This is a little bit larger, so I will point out to this size, so we do still want to be conscious. But interestingly, cashews actually inherently have a sweet taste to them. So you're also, for people who, in a latte, we find a lot of people want that sweetness, and they also do get creamy, and that creaminess stays if you foam it like this at home.
Excellent.
All right, so this is for regular old coffee drinkers who like them sort of latte-ish.
Yes,
Creamy, come on over.
Unsweetened, yes.
Unsweetened. So the best nut milk for iced coffee is almond milk. Again, a lot of people say almond milk doesn't work in my regular coffee, but here is fantastic. Why is that, Ashley? Go ahead and give it a taste.
Yeah, go ahead. Have you tried it?
Is it there?
It's delicious. It's like any soda drinkers, drink this.
So Ashley, why do you like almond milk for cold coffees?
Yeah, so the interesting thing about almonds, and almonds have so many wonderful benefits for you, but when we're really just talking about putting it in coffee, it actually, I don't know if you've ever tried having it hot, it separates. So then you get you don't get that frothiness that we got with the cashew milk, and a lot of times even just visually you're looking at it, it's not giving you a great taste. So I love it in the cold from an ice standpoint, and you can do a fair amount of it because unsweetened almond milk is not a significant source of carbohydrates. You're gonna be fine in that way as well.
And you know what else is interesting? I didn't think we could have coffee. I ran to my coffee machine.
Yes, perfect.
You got your exercise in.
It's like our friends are back. Yes.
8 pounds in 6 days.
Wow.
Did you really?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Congratulations.
The best replacement for heavy cream, which a lot of you love in regular old coffee, is coconut milk. So if you don't mind, give it a taste.
Yeah.
Now you're up from Canada, right? It gets
Tough
cold
job,
sometimes
right?
this time
Yes.
of
It's
year.
cold up there.
So you need your
It's
coffee.
good. It tastes like what I would have had at home with half and half in it.
So Ashley, why'd you pick this?
Yeah, so you really, when you're going for cream, you really want that heavy creaminess, and that's what you're getting from coconut here. And so in an unsweetened way, you're getting that mouthfeel, and for a lot of people it is that mouthfeel that delivers on it, sort of like I've had something that's fatty or creamy, and you're going to get it here and enjoy it.
How about the size here? That's sort of
Yeah,
big
so
cup of
I
coffee.
love that we demoed with this. We have everything here is what you should be doing, and then this is so as a dietitian, I like to say, drink aspirationally. So if you're looking to be smaller, drink smaller, right? I think that that's a key thing, because the other part is, if you have all of this, and this has to somewhere come out of, from a nutritional standpoint, what else you're having in the day. So if I'm having this amount, I can get away with a smaller amount of the coconut milk.
It's good because I tried certain types of soy milk in my coffee before, and it almost curdled.
I know.
And didn't go well, so I definitely will try the
When
coconut
Ashley
milk.
told me that you could actually pick the right nut milk
Yeah.
to match your coffee cravings, it made perfect sense. I don't know why we haven't talked about it before.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be on a program like this, you want to take the best advice you can get, and we got a world expert here.
Yep.
One last thing.
Wonderful.
Ashley's got a way of making coffee into a meal,
Yes.
which I didn't believe until I just saw it. So walk us through it.
Yeah, I mean, I think one day I was just playing around with it and I didn't like the plain espresso and I didn't have a little bit of the coconut milk. So I made my oatmeal and I actually usually do like a little bit of a nut butter in there as well. And I threw that in. And let me tell you, it's kind of game changer. Yeah.
It's confusing. It's like having
And you
sweet
can
and
put
sour
cinnamon,
together.
you can put cayenne in. I mean, I do crazy things with
Cayenne
it. Yeah,
with coffee?
totally. Yeah,
Oh, my
for
goodness.
sure. You know, you go a little crazy.
The radical Ashley
It's
coffee.
good. That's right. Exactly.
If you want to get on the day off diet, you're just in time. You go to DrOz.com where you can pick up the Good Life magazine for everything you need, from shopping lists to recipes, personalized meal plans, all the goodies. Get it, take advantage of it, and tell your friends about it. We'll be right back.
Next, want another way to trim your waist? We've got the perfect meal for your day off diet. Boost your metabolism and energy with recipes that will even fight off cravings.
They're kind of like superpower ingredients.
The 20 best soups for weight loss. Next.
From sriracha to another food I know you can't get enough of, soup, and there's so many. But you know, just like sriracha, it can help trim down your waist. Soup is the most nutrient-dense way to fill up, and it's a perfect meal for my day off diet. So today what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share the 20 best soups for weight loss. Because remember, soups are slimming down. Why? Let's go over it again. First, they keep you fuller for longer with very few calories, because they got so much liquid in them. And they're a very easy way to get more veggies and fiber. So what I'm gonna do is ask my favorite clean eating chef, Candice Kumai, to share her favorite slimming soups that follow my day off diet. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mermaid.
Let's start with boosting metabolism. What's your favorite soup choice for that?
So I would say the red lentil soup, Dr. Oz, is the best. It's full of protein, it's full of iron, it's full of fiber. So it keeps you full for a really long time. And you know, after a hefty workout, you want to keep your metabolism going, right? Yep. Right now it's a little chilly for a smoothie. So why not go for a red lentil soup that makes you feel really good?
And just to hammer this home, it's a perfect day off diet soup because it's got non-starchy vegetables, right? You got onions, you got broccoli, all the good stuff you talked about, broccoli rabe. And you mentioned the lentils, because that's, you know, it's a great source of protein with complex carbs together. Right. So if you really want to do this the smart way, that's what you want to accomplish.
And we put sriracha in it too to boost your metabolism because we know you love it.
What a show off you are.
And,
Candice.
well, we figured you like the heat. And we also put apple cider vinegar in there too to help with, you know, the acidity balances out the sweetness from the onions. Then you're going to get a lot of like hearty fat from the lentils and the olive oil. And then you want just a tiny bit of salt in there from the stock. So it's a perfectly well-rounded soup as well.
Making me hungry. All right, let's move on to an energizing soup. So you actually do the workout, you can bother with the rest of this stuff. You recommend a parsnip and leek soup.
Absolutely. So we know that parsnips are full of protein. They also have a little bit of vitamin C in them and fiber. And then B6 is naturally found here in the leek. So we created a soup for you also that has some powerful ingredients, curry powder and cumin. Now, as you know, that they're full of nutrients, and I like to say that curry powder is the smartest spice out there because it really helps to keep your brain sharp. And, you know, you want to keep the energy going too with the ginger. So all of these, they're kind of like superpower ingredients that keep you going longer, stronger, and energized.
So to make it, you put all these in a soup, you have vegetable broth.
Yes.
You add a little apple cider vinegar again?
Yes, and this is to add flavor again. And again, it's got a lot of benefits to, you know, keeping you healthy and strong as well.
So we actually have one of our audience members. Where's Margarita? Oh, up here. Come on back here. Well, Margarita tried this. She tried this. You're bragging about it so darn much, Candice. So I want to hear, honest opinion, do not try to patronize her. No. I got this. I'll give you a sriracha sauce if you tell the truth here. Okay. What did you think about the soup?
I love the soup. I love the soup. I don't cook, but it was really quick, really inexpensive. It was filling. And thank God I was home for the last few days because it's very moving. If you know what I mean.
Oh, I love that. You didn't mention that.
That's amazing.
It's moving,
Well, it must have been the
moving,
secret
like
fiber.
emotionally moving?
It's moving, and I felt lighter. Yeah.
That kind of moving.
Yeah, that kind of moving. Yeah.
She felt good. Yeah.
All right. Next, to fight off the cravings that you might have after you've gone moving. Nicely stated, by the way, Margarita. You're going to make us this. Now, I've never seen this. It's just like a squash or something. What is this called?
I cannot wait to introduce you. Okay, my mom and I are both so excited. This is kabocha squash.
Kabocha.
Kabocha. It's a Japanese squash that's actually, it's a green winter squash. So you probably see this in the market all the time and walk past it. It is full of vitamins A, C, and fiber. And my mom said, you know, today I can't believe you are going to show Dr. Oz the kabocha. So she said it is so full of the benefits. And you know, in Japan, we use kabocha all the time.
That is so.
It is the best. Mom
you
is
copied
the best.
her perfectly.
Absolutely.
What's mom's name?
Her name is Miho Kumai Gwizdowski. Miho.
Miho Kumai Gwizdowski?
My father is Polish, and it is Gwizdowski, yes.
Miga Kumai, I'm very proud of your daughter. She's doing a wonderful job.
Oh, thank you, Mehmet.
All right, so show us how to make a shortbread.
All right, so what we do is we put some onion and garlic in here, and you're gonna cook it down. You're gonna add your bay leaf. That also adds some nutrients in there. And you're gonna cook down your squash, and you're gonna add your stock. And as we know, bone broth has a lot of benefits too. Here goes the try.
Oh, it's hard.
Well, this one isn't done yet. Mehmet, we might want to try the one that's finished. But sure, you can try it raw too.
Yeah, the raw is not part. Let's see, here's.
It's sweet like chestnut.
Oh, it is.
Pumpkin.
Oh, it's
it melts in
superb.
your mouth.
Have you guys ever heard of this? How you say it?
Kabocha.
Kabocha. Never heard. It's fantastic. Chestnut's the right word to describe it. It's smooth.
Smooth, delicious. It's full of those nutrients that you need for beautiful skin. I'd like to think that...
It's not bad raw either, by the way.
It's delicious, right? You could definitely use a peeler on it, but I think Japanese women have beautiful skin because they eat lots of vegetables and sea vegetables, and a lot of these contain nutrients that you need for great skin, like vitamins A and C. But the point of the kabocha squash is that it's about satiation, about feeling fuller longer, fighting those cravings. So you're just gonna add that stock, and as we know, bone broth has a lot of nutrients in it as well, and even protein. Then we have our quinoa, which is another starch. You can opt to leave this out if you'd like, because sometimes you don't want two starches are too much, right? Yeah. So, and then we have kale, so we're gonna finish this off, vitamins A and C and K. And I've gotta keep it Japanese for mom, so a little touch of shoyu or soy sauce. So everybody has that. Just to finish off your soup, cook this down for just a bit. You smell, the whole house is gonna smell amazing. People are gonna come over, they're gonna say, what is this green pumpkin kabocha soup?
You know
Finish it with some sunflower seeds or pepitas. All right.
Margarita, this is also gonna be very moving for you, I think. Okay. With all that kabocha in there. Let's see what you think about this. I love the smoothness of it, and I would add the quinoa. What do you think, Margarita?
I love it. Can I have this?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Guys, thank you very much.
Oh, my
Wonderful advice. I want you to check out Candice's book, Clean Green Eats, for the recipes and the rest of the 20 best soups. You can go to DrOz.com. All these soups work for weight loss. We'll be right back.
Next, restaurateur and model BeBe Smith on her battle with Alzheimer's. How she and her family are dealing with one of the toughest medical struggles there is. And the horrible night she went missing.
It was very scary.
Next.
My son was shot in the head. My son suffers every day.
Life coach Ayala Van Zandt helps you overcome your fears.
Right now you're focusing on the fear.
All New Oz. That's coming up tomorrow.
BeBe Smith has been many things in her life. A successful model, a famous restaurateur, a TV host, and a loving mother and wife. Now, she and her family are going through one of the toughest medical struggles there is, Alzheimer's disease. Today, BeBe Smith and her husband, Dan Gasby, are back with an update on her condition and to tell us about the horrible night BeBe went missing.
It was a harrowing experience that lasted nearly 14 hours when former model and famed restaurateur BeBe Smith went missing. Smith, who has Alzheimer's disease, disappeared while traveling to New York City in November of 2014. Thankfully, she was found unharmed at a Manhattan restaurant close to where she once lived. This distressing incident focused the spotlight on this debilitating disease and what it's doing to a beloved American icon and her loved ones.
When you're used to doing things and doing a lot of things at one time, it feels like the air has been taken out of you and you're not quite the lady that you were.
You're not making tea with that, Barb.
What are we making it with?
No. You can't.
I know, but...
To keep BeBe's mind stimulated,
I'm gonna read it out loud, right?
Yeah, I am gonna read it out loud.
her husband Dan reads the paper with her every day. They also do word games.
Clam.
Okay, great. What word is this?
Not always successfully.
J-U-N-K?
J-U-N-K. Ay. It makes me feel the way I am right now, tearful. Because I don't want him,
Yeah, this is the tough part of it. I mean, we know that we're in a fight. I mean, and we're going to fight back.
BeBe Smith and her husband Dan Gadsby are here. God, I love you.
Good to see you again. Mwah.
Good to see you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
So I was so inspired last year when we sat down and I really began to understand what you were struggling with. How you doing this year?
I'm great. It's like a whole new me, and I'm feeling good, and doing my best to be my best.
Well, that you've always been able to do.
Thank you.
Dan, your beautiful wife, 66. I was told I could mention that because no one's going to believe you're 66 if I don't say it.
I didn't tell. No, yes, he's very proud of how
You should be. You guys have been together 25 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're her primary caregiver.
Yes.
How are you keeping up?
Well, they always say in football, everybody goes to the coach, but who does the coach go to?
Yeah, that's right.
And I have my ups and downs. I mean, that's the thing that we want people to know is that it's not easy being a caregiver. They're first responders.
So let's go to this really scary event that happened where you went missing, B.
Yes.
Maybe Dan, we'll start with you. What actually happened? Give us the whole story.
Well, the long and the short of it is that I put B on a bus to go from where we lived in Long Island, Sag Harbor, into Manhattan to be picked up by our daughter. And everything went fine going in. And then they had a day together and met with some folks, and then our daughter was going to put her on the bus and take her, and I was going to meet her at the other end. And what happened was, where she met her originally was the first stop you got off. Right. And where she put her on was the next to the
So just
stop.
a subtle little change.
One little change. And what happened was she put her on the stop before the last stop, and she got off at the last stop and stayed and walked it throughout Manhattan all night long in a snowstorm, sleet, rain storm with just a thin jacket and high heels. And she was amazing. She was gone somewhere between 14 and 17 hours, walking up and down the streets from lower Manhattan to Midtown, up to Harlem and then back.
Oh my goodness.
So we estimated that based on that, she did a marathon and a half in high heels.
High heels. Dana, if your daughter's here,
right.
Dana, what was it like for you? You put your mom on the bus. Your dad probably called you like an hour or two later saying, "Where's mom?" Then you have 14 hours of terror.
Tremendous guilt. I realized that one little change in the plan, and that changed everything. I realized that repetition has to be a part of my life when I'm dealing with her, because I know that small changes can mean the most.
So, B, do you remember this evening at all? I saw you getting emotional as you saw all the fear in our faces following the saga. But what do you remember about what happened that night, those 14 hours?
It was
scary.
It was very scary. Very scary. But
and when they finally found you?
When they found me, I was still standing.
So, I have a list of things Dan shared with us since this incident that are sort of the rules in the family. B can no longer be on her own. There has to always be someone with you. She has an ID bracelet, and you're not allowed to drive anymore.
That's the biggest bone of contention.
Why is that a big issue for you, the driving?
Because I've had my own car for years, and it makes me crazy that some people don't want me to. No, I'm just kidding.
No, that's not some people. That's one people.
One people.
One person doesn't want me to drive.
Here's the thing, doctor. My wife literally could do just about anything and do it effortlessly. And now it's hard to imagine someone who looks like her has this ability, or had this ability to do everything, now has, struggles to do certain things. And I try to tell her, you know, a friend doesn't tell you what you want to hear or let you do what you want to do. They tell you what you need to know. And that's what I try to do.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back, B and Dan's warning about Alzheimer's. You want to hear this. Stay here. Next, the Smiths help us understand how to deal with the disease, what changes they've made to slow it down, and what you and your family need to know about living with Alzheimer's.
If you don't create awareness, you can't create change.
Next. We are bringing healthy back this season and want you to bring it too. Grab your prescription pad for fun and sign up for free tickets today. You can go to droz.com/tickets and sign up. Did I get it right? Former TV host and model BeBe Smith cheering on the audience like you always do, and her husband Dan Gaspy are here. They have an update on Be's struggle with Alzheimer's. There are about 5 million Americans that have Alzheimer's. It's a disease that destroys memory and eventually a lot of bodily functions. And while we don't know what causes it, we are learning more and more about it, and that's where the power is. So I wonder if it's okay with you, show you a brain scan of someone who has Alzheimer's. And then we'll talk a little bit about what's going on in your life.
Good.
Okay, B? Come on back
That's
here.
fine.
So you get to be escorted by me and Dan.
too.
How lucky we are. How lucky we are.
Wow.
So, that's a healthy looking brain, right? You're supposed to have a
Yes.
little bit of yellow in there and sort of that blue. Now let me show you the brain of someone who has Alzheimer's disease. And these big red areas there, that's buildup of amyloid plaque. These are like potholes, literally potholes in the network of roads in the brain.
Right.
And these potholes force us out of alignment. So we're off the road altogether sometimes. Do you feel like that?
Sometime, yes. Yes.
And the thing about Alzheimer's is sometimes you can drive on roads that are okay.
Right.
Like I know when you're interacting with the audience, and I love this, you care about them so much that you're at peace. I don't know, Dan, if you noticed it too. But
That's who she is. I mean, and that's what happens when your loved one has Alzheimer's. They do things that amaze you, and then they do things that bewilder you at the same time.
Come and sit down again.
Okay.
So the thing about Alzheimer's, because it's such a bewildering disease, to Dan's point, is we're trying to figure out what causes those plaques, what causes those potholes and speed bumps that throw
Right.
you out of alignment. And there's no cure,
I know.
which is why I'm so passionate about your story. Because I want to understand more about your resilience and what the game plan is. Because remember, everybody, although Alzheimer's can't be cured, there are ways of slowing it down. And I'd love to know, Dan, what you and B are doing to try to accomplish that.
Well, there's a couple of things. One, we eat a healthy diet. There's no sugar in the house. We have lots of vegetables, fresh fruits, exercise, doing exercise that's strenuous and interval exercising. So she gets on an elliptical and does things, sort of sprinting, to get her heart rate
That's how
up.
you stay sexy looking.
Yes.
I thought it was me, but no. And the other thing, Doc, I mean, we do meditation. And the other thing is just positive attitude. And medicine. You know, she takes some medicine that keeps her mental clarity up. And that's it. And then the other thing we believe, quite honestly, doctor, is that Sweetie's been blessed to be able to do a lot and impact a lot of people. We didn't want to hide. We didn't want to make excuses. We didn't want to be put our hands above our eyes and make like things wouldn't happen. We know that if we create awareness and understand that just like the President of the United States, President Reagan had Alzheimer's, my wife has it, it can happen to anyone, but we need to, we spend billions of dollars on things like Ebola that basically 5 or 6 people have in this country. And Alzheimer's, like you said, 5 million people have it. By 2030, 2040, it'll be 15 million people. 50 million caregivers will be at that point, and it's amazing. And then one other reason that's very important. I believe that it's a 21st century civil rights issue, to be quite honest. 2 out of 3 people who have Alzheimer's are women. If you're over 65 years of age, you're more likely to have Alzheimer's, twice as likely to have breast cancer. You know, blacks are 2 to 3 times more likely to have it. The impact, it runs somewhere between 50 and 100,000 a year to care for somebody. So the people who have the least have the most to be impacted. and the government is spending a pittance on it. And so I want to make sure if we can buy time. I believe in our country, I believe in science, I believe in medicine, I believe in the things that you're doing to break down stigmas. And if we can break down this stigma, you know, people don't want to talk about it. If you don't talk about it, you can't create awareness. And if you don't create awareness, you can't create change. And
Hallelujah. So, B, Dan just beautifully described what we need to do.
Right.
But I want to understand how you find hope.
How I find hope.
How do you keep strong in the face of Alzheimer's?
I went back to my family, and I started working with the family too, so that they understood what was happening with me, and still.
And Sweetie's she's a positive person. She, you know, I can tell you honestly, this woman wakes up with a smile. She goes to bed with a smile.
I see the smile lines. God bless you. Listen, what I would applaud you for is, before I forget, 'cause that's the name of the book, Before I Forget.
Good.
Because I would never forget to say it. It is beautiful. You write parts of it.
Right.
I really want you guys to all pay attention to this because it's really important stuff. God bless you. I'm going to see you again. Don't get lost anymore. You scared the heck out of us.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Can I just say one thing, Doctor? What you do every day is you demystify things that people need to know, because you can never assume people understand unless you can explain it in very simple terms. Because we're so scattered today with all the information coming at us, we can get the wrong information and it builds up to the point that things can't be understood. You demystify, and I want to thank you for that.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
Mwah.
We'll be right back. Next, are you concerned you might have Alzheimer's?
And it's so hard to watch someone you love go through that, but it also makes you think, like, what's going to happen to me?
Become more aware of your behavior. Learn to recognize the 4 key signs. When to worry and when not to. The threat of terror attacks has all of us on edge.
My son was shot in the head. My son suffers every day.
Life coach Iyanla Van Zandt helps you overcome your fears.
Right now you're focusing on the fear.
Iyanla's life-changing tip, all new Oz. That's coming up tomorrow.
We're talking Alzheimer's. BeBe Smith shared her story. It's powerful. And now the question many of you are probably asking yourselves is it really a sign of Alzheimer's when I do these things? When do you have to worry about something you've done, and when is it not important? So I've got Michelle from the audience here. Why are you concerned about Alzheimer's?
Well, as a kid, I watched as my grandfather was affected by Alzheimer's. It's something that started gradually, and eventually over time, he wouldn't even recognize you. Oh. And it's so hard to watch someone you love go through that, but it also makes you think, like, what's going to happen to me or my parents or my brother?
So we're going to address that. I think a lot of folks aren't sure if the little things we do wrong really amount to it. So I want you all to be recognize the signs of Alzheimer's, so you don't have to worry about it.
Okay.
That's the real power of knowledge here, is you worry about things that are important, but you don't waste a lot of time on things that are important. So there are 4 key signs of Alzheimer's I want to go over. The first is when you have a difficult time performing simple tasks. Like, for example, when you get in the car, you ever have trouble starting it up?
Not my car. Ask me my husband's. He's got like a clutch on a shift, and that's a whole story.
No, that's not a simple task anymore, right? No. Perfectly made it hard to do.
Yes.
This is wagging for that, by the way. But difficulty with tasks, you know, things like brushing your teeth, tying shoes, things that weren't problematic before, or starting your car, is one of those red flags when I think you should worry. Next, what happens constantly getting lost or disoriented? It's the wrong wherever you're at. All right? The flag item here is if you're getting lost going to familiar places. You should be able to start thinking of your own home, for example. Right? Find your house destination, you can't get from neighborhood to grocery store, places you all your That's a concern. Next item, this is something that women can about their men all the time. And you talk in circles, like repeating conversations.
Well, my husband, yes. I'm okay with that. Sometimes, you know, you forget what you're going to say, but it's really not something that to me all the time.
All right. So with Alzheimer's, it's not going to be subtle. It's important. You find yourself repeating stories, or that you'll know someone you care about is telling you the exact same story they told you before. So besides the misuse words, you normally be able to use it, but it doesn't just have occasion. repetitively happening. The rule of thumb is if it's for more than 2 weeks, you probably ought to talk to someone. All right, and the last item is science, the final about today, is you have trouble making choices. Splitting, and we have to make choices all along. Everyone has difficulty with this, but the red flag item is here, clear. You have bad judgment in your decisions. I hear about this all the time. Famous people make mistakes and put it up to them being bad. Sometimes these folks have bad judgment because their brain is clouded.
Okay.
And for relatives, it shouldn't be something in their mind. You think about it, maybe a medical problem that's causing their issue. There are others here as well. You can behave in socially appropriate ways. Things that just aren't who they are. Personality changes. It's things that with Alzheimer's were about because they aren't the person they used to be.
Exactly.
Are those helpful to you?
Helpful, yes.
So at least you won't rest comfortable. You don't seem to have any of them.
Thank you.
I think it's a good sign just so you all know that you're about it. That way, if you were, you get awareness, and with awareness, power, and attention. So thank you much. Wish you the best of luck. To put you easy, go to drhours.com and tips if your brain's for long. I'll be right back.
Danger and kill.
I didn't even know this is that big of an issue.
Plus, these dogs sniff out cancer and MS. All us.
A 90% accuracy rate is extraordinary.
On Thursday. So we all have to go to the gym to train your muscles, that biceps and strong. What are you going to do in your brain? Tomorrow we talk about exercises that sharpen your brain. It was an easy one. Everyone got their own. Then name 2 objects for every letter. First thing. For example, that's how you spell it. So it could be moth and maggot, the M. It could be elephant and deer. And H could be honey and bloom or hammer or something like that, right? You keep off and so go. You sort of work on brain exercises. Let me go to another one. Simple. Who knows the alphabet of months? What is that? Alphabet of months. You have to tell me the months of the year, but in alphabetical order. So what is the first alphabetically aligned? April, you got it right. What's second? What's third? Oh. No, it's December. All right, who's last? Last month. Oh, second. September. Test yourselves at home. You guys did very well, by the way. But when you put yourself on this stuff, you're going to have all answers to all brain tweezers and much more on doctor.com. Thank you for joining us. Happy it's home.